Well, hello. Welcome to Real WW Talk. I'm Erin.
I'm Candice.
And I'm Rikki.
Ladies, thank you for holding down the fort last week while I began the birthday vacation.
We missed you. Welcome back.
Yeah.
I missed being with you, but I did listen to your talk in the middle of last week. I even took a full social media break too.
Good
It
for
was
you.
very hard. It was very hard not to I realized how much time I spend just tapping on Facebook and wasting time.
Well, you look very refreshed and welcome back.
Thank you. That's called my fake tan. So, okay, who wants to go first? Candice, where are we?
Oh my goodness. I feel like we just need to start brand new fresh. I think because your birthday, maybe you can start. You can go ahead.
Okay. So I did not track at all last week. I did not track, but I also did not overeat. I'm trying to think about why I didn't track because it doesn't mean that I'm not pursuing wellness as well on my birthday week, and it's not a vacation from being well. I think I just was in my brain going, okay, I'm going to be on vacation and I'm going to be fully present and really fully enjoy myself, which you can do while tracking. But I guess for me, that equated to not tracking. But I ate lots of fresh fruit, lots of fresh vegetables. Candice, I was thinking about your conversation last week when you went on vacation where you are like, okay, I'm going to eat my special thing. For me, my special thing was coworkers surprised me with lunch on Friday. They had a little lunch party for me, which was awesome, or on Thursday. And, my birthday is the 3rd of July. So we had the 3rd of July and the 4th of July. And we got my mom this pizza oven for her birthday, an outdoor pizza oven. Nice. And so we had outdoor pizza the one day and just a lot of good food, but I didn't say no to anything, but I didn't say yes to all of it, if that makes sense.
But you have to spill a little of the details of what the coworkers gave you for lunch. Like the foodie in me is wondering, what did they give you?
Well, we went to a vegan restaurant. Wow. And the funny thing is, it was one of my coworkers came along who is 100% not a vegan. Not a vegan, and pretty much only likes baby carrots.
Okay. And so recommended a vegan restaurant.
Yes. So we sat down, and I it all of a sudden hit me after I got over the shock of the surprise of seeing my other coworkers, because I thought I was just having lunch with one of my coworkers. And came around the corner. They had balloons on the table and a little birthday crown. Gosh. I know, it was so sweet. It was so sweet. And then once it hit me, everybody was there, I turned up and I said, "What are you going to eat?" So we had the vegan nachos and cheese.
Oh, interesting.
Good. Yeah, so he had the vegan nachos and cheese, and I'm like, you could try the Beyond Beef burger. It's pretty good. So, and the best part for me is I came away not sick, because I think a lot of people tend to think vegan equals gluten-free equals dairy-free, which it definitely equals dairy-free, but it does not equal gluten-free. It does not equal nut-free, which are all a part of the trifecta. So if you have somebody in your life who does have intolerances, know that if they've got multiple intolerances, they're not picking and choosing which one they can be intolerant of. It literally is the entire bubble. So if they eat something, it has to be, in my case, gluten-free, dairy-free, and nut-free.
Not to make it complicated at all.
Right? I know. But I was so grateful for them. That was so sweet. And yeah, it was amazing. It was awesome. So thank you.
Good. Well, let's go in order. Rikki, now I'm going around my screen. I see Erin and
I see on my screen you would be next in the order. So Candice is delaying.
I'm just so excited. I need organization in my life. So I'm like, let's go.
Okay. I'm happy to help you. I'll go next.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I had a good week. The scale stayed the same, but I'm okay with that because I think I still need to work on tracking my water and really being intentional about getting that in and just flushing myself out a little bit more. I moved a little bit more, not just with the bike, but I got into gardening a little bit this week. So I was, just being outside, I'm just not even moving that much, just watering the plants. I was just sweating buckets and then I just feel like I'm a little bit more active outside of just my Peloton. So that's been exciting to just do some things that are a little bit different and that have this visual reward. So yeah.
Bravo.
Thank you.
And gardening is tough. I applaud you because I took on my little mini garden that's in front of my house a few years ago and got into doing that because I thought it would be an easy exercise. It is not.
That's
It
hot.
is not
It's sweaty work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely, I understand. And I think it's good because I think with the bike, it's so hard to get in steps because you may sweat and do things when you're on the bike because, we have the Peloton, but my steps take a dive. I don't get enough movement outside of the bike. So I think gardening is
a good thing on the bike though.
Yes.
I am.
Really good cardio. Really good cardio.
But what I really want is to see, because, I need to get back to doing my step bets because my steps have just taken a dive because I haven't been focused on it.
Okay, hold on. We gotta address this. We gotta address this because I totally understand how you feel because I felt that.
Yeah.
We're being controlled by the number on this little thing. And you've got to remember that you are doing an entire workout on the Peloton. And so what you're doing, that 30-minute bike ride and everything that it's working is equal to your 10,000 steps. It's equal to those things. So it's a total mind shift, but I know because I started riding my bike and I was like, oh gosh, I only have 3,000 steps today. But I just rode 30 miles on my bike.
But Erin, you don't understand. The Apple Watch is a bully. Okay.
That is exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah. If you do not move, it's like, do you feel like getting up and doing anything? I mean, are you going to do? And then they give you monthly goals, Erin, and they'll say things like, well, since you're not doing anything for your body, do you want to just breathe for 5 minutes today? That's your only goal because you obviously aren't doing something.
Then you need to get rid of this thing that is not aligned with this other thing that you've got now two opposing forces coming at you where Peloton is saying, we've done it. We're doing
I feel
it.
you, Candice, because this month, my goal, I don't think I made my Apple Watch goal last month because it had to do with movement or something. And even though I was on the bike, I didn't make the goal. But this month, it's to do an average of 2.6 miles a day. And there's some days where I'll have a workout in and only have done a mile a day. So it helps that I have the dog and I take him for walks. But there's some days where, like, if I don't go to a grocery store where I'm getting steps in, I may have done a workout, but I don't get Apple is not proud of me.
What do you do to a bully?
I'm not getting rid of my Apple Watch, Erin. Okay. This bully is staying. But I definitely know that it isn't tied. It shouldn't be that. It should be that my workout, thankfully, with my bike, it pairs and it'll give me the rings. But gosh darn it, seeing the lower steps is very hurtful.
Do you know
makes me feel like a loser?
This is so funny for us because what is the core of WW? It's tracking. It's getting the blue dot. We're literally more worried about the number on the step, the more the ring, and the blue dots over here like, hi, for me.
Yeah. I had to stop caring so much about the blue dot because that made me afraid sometimes to have the days because I wanted the streak. How you see the people with the beautiful, they have blue dot challenges and every day they have a blue dot. While I think that's a great goal, it doesn't allow for you to have like a day where you maybe, I don't want to say eat to excess, but have something that might be considered higher point splurge. Without feeling that guilt. It's like, I didn't get a blue dot, so I can't have it. So I had to stop focusing so much.
Let's apply this to the Apple Watch then.
Erin, separate thing. We're talking about blue dots. Okay. Stop coming for my Apple Watch. I can't take it. No, but I agree with you. I know intellectually that what you're saying is true, but
it is true.
Not there yet. Okay. I need a support group. I have to choose. It's okay. So, but I used to do the step bets and that was really something that I enjoyed, but I'm right now, I don't want to take myself there with the Peloton to freak myself out.
Hot. It's very hot to be going outside and doing all those stuff. I mean, you want to make sure you're being safe that way too.
Yes. Okay. Now I've taken us down this path. You may continue, Candice.
So I think I had a good week in terms of mental. I went and really worked on my confidence this week at work and also in some social situations. So I'm very proud of that. I found that I was very uncomfortable with some of the situations where I had to advocate for myself because that's just not something that I'm used to. So that confidence at first was fake, meaning I had to pretend and act until it became something that felt okay. But I'm proud that I am not hiding from the fact that I get what I deserve, and am able to ask for what I deserve. And we went to the midweek meeting, I think, with Marlon this week, and it was something that was a topic that was reinforced. So I went to a couple meetings this week to try to really get that honed into my head, because the topic was about, I think, like making space for time for what you enjoy, or it's about focus on you. And that's just so very not comfortable for me. So I would say this week was growth. I'm not 100% there, but I really made some strides in that area. So I'm happy.
Well, I'm proud of you. I mean, this has all been leading up. These things that we've been talking about, confidence and affirmations. You talking about your affirmations and saying them in the morning, and now this is the opportunity to apply them, which feels scary because you're taking that step forward. Yeah. But you've got all of this backed up behind you. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. It's kind of hard though. So I just did it for the Bravo. I only shared to get the Bravo. So thank you.
Well, we happily give it to you. Bravo stars all around for us.
Yeah.
Speaking of Wednesday's meeting that we went to with Marlon, and this was the topic all week about taking time for the things that you enjoy. Have you noticed on your WW journey? Hang on, sorry, I got a little bit of feedback there. Have you noticed in your WW journey that now you find yourself doing different things, like what you used to enjoy has changed as your health has changed? Dun, dun, dun.
Don't all answer at once.
I'll say for me, I found that things that I've enjoyed, I love sitting down and reading a book. I don't do it as often, but I still enjoy watching on occasion TV. But I actually found that I enjoy it more now when I stand and walk while I do it, or I'm on my Peloton while I watch. I've created enjoyment in that way. And I think about Nadine, our in-person meeting leader. She loves bubble baths and a glass of wine. I've always wanted to be those people that could sit in a bubble bath with like a glass of wine and a book and whatnot. And I'm 6 feet tall, so I just need a bigger tub, really. I think if I had a bigger tub, I would enjoy it more.
You know what they have, Erin? Just a side note. They have now like the bath bombs, but they're for the shower. So if you don't want to sit and if you don't want to be in the tub, you put this thing. I saw it over, but I was out shopping, you put it actually in the shower, and it releases all of the things, and it's for if you want to feel luxurious while taking a shower.
Oh,
So
that's wonderful. Yeah,
I know.
shower people deserve luxury too.
We deserve love too.
Yes.
So I just wanted to mention that.
Well,
let me rephrase this. What have you guys been doing? What have you been doing that hasn't felt like work in your journey? Is there anything that you've been doing that just feels like joy?
I love being in the kitchen, and I know that is technically a work kind of thing to help you work towards your goals. But especially now that I have my kitchen set up again, like I love meal prep and sharing that with others, sharing like the process. I enjoy making something new and having it look pretty and having it not only look like the presentation in the cookbook, but also, trying different flavors and just, I don't know, it makes me feel like I'm truly adulting, like I'm getting something right. I can, prepare a meal that others can enjoy. And that's low in points. Like, for example, I made egg rolls last night. I'm going to share, I made a video of it, so I'll share it next week on our social media. But I kind of I didn't even go off of a recipe. I just love creating. I did cheeseburger egg rolls. So there's tons of iterations of those if you look on different websites, but it was only 4 points for one, which I think was a win. I don't think that, I mean, I have a little more points than, the base amount of points that someone would have on plan. But for me, I can have 2 or 3 of those with a meal and it not be, too many points. So that was exciting just to be in the kitchen and to create.
Oh my gosh. I need that recipe like now.
I will share it. I will.
Egg rolls. Yeah. For me, mine is dancing. I've been turning on music because I feel like now that I have a 1-year-old, my house is never really clean because anything that I put up, he puts down and throws on the floor now that he can walk. But I've been trying to dance, like put on music while I'm cleaning up the house. And that has made it surprisingly enjoyable. Like I get the benefit of the clean space, but I also get to listen to my favorite song and get some movement because I can't help but move when I hear certain songs. So that's something new that I've introduced and I love doing it because I used to really, kind of listen to a lot of music throughout and I stopped. I don't know why. I think when iPods and stuff were big, I only listen to music in the car sometimes. I don't do it at home. And it really makes a difference kind of when you're trying to get your space together to kind of have that stuff going on in the background.
I love music is an instant mood lifter.
Yeah.
I love it. And it's not because that's my job.
Yeah.
I believe in the power of music because it makes you move. It makes you think. It makes you feel. Just imagine, a movie without a soundtrack, right? What would Psycho be without the violins? Right?
Turn down the music or the volume and you wouldn't feel the same thing.
Oh, no, not at all.
No. What would Zumba be without the track?
Come on.
Right? Just a bunch of us in a line looking a little weird.
Yeah. Gosh, I haven't done Zumba in forever. My goodness.
They've got them on Amazon if you have Amazon Prime. I think I shared that a while back, and I think they didn't like that. I think Amazon pulled it, or I don't know what they did, but they have it on Amazon Prime for free, certain classes that are different videos that you could do. So if you have that, that's a free resource.
Yeah, that and YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Can I share one more thing? Because this is another thing that I don't know if I've heard about the benefits of meditation, and I think at first it sounds like something that's so simplistic, like you should just be able to kind of shut your mind off and relax and listen to deep breathing and all of that. But the Peloton has an app and they have sleep meditations that help you go to sleep. And they just kind of play calming music and they're like, it's time for you to unwind. It's time to rest. And it sounds hokey, but it really, really is helpful, especially if your mind is going a mile a minute like it was for me this week. And I know they have those on YouTube and other places as well. It's not just something that's specific to Peloton. But if you've never tried meditation or like the sleep meditations, it's like 2 to 5 minutes. And it's just to help you get into a relaxed state. And you're not really repeating mantras. They're just talking to you about how to quiet your mind. I didn't realize how hard that would be, like how difficult quieting your mind is. There's so much going on up here that you have to work on. Quiet.
I love, from the faith perspective, there's an app called the Abide app. And they also have some on YouTube as well. And it's a guided prayer and meditation, but and think about everything that's crushing into us. There's no wonder we find it hard to focus because of everything that comes at us. I mean, even this week, me trying to intentionally not be on social media, catching how many times I wanted to go. And I did. I pushed the Facebook button. I'm like, what am I doing? Boom, take it off. Like I needed to break from my phone significantly. Turning all my notifications off. I mean, I get at least 300 notifications a day. All of these things trying to compete for our attention.
Yeah.
It's so hard for us when we think about it in those terms, everything that's coming at us from our phone. And, Candice, you've got family, you've got Isaiah, which is notifications every 5 seconds from Isaiah, right? Rikki, you've got Ziggy now, but there's more. Think about all the things that pull us off track. No wonder we feel frustrated so often. It's because we don't have enough time for ourselves to think about the things that we enjoy or to do the things that we enjoy. Even just stopping for a minute to go, what do I want to do this next week? Right? Like intentionality is so important. What were you going to say, Rikki?
I was just going to say it's kind of back a step in the conversation, but another thing about the meditations that I think is really important that I think I struggle with is the breathing. I think we don't, as innate as breathing is to us, I think sometimes we don't know when we're trying to rest and when our mind is moving really fast. One of the things those meditations focus on is telling you how to like take a deep breath now, like how to slow down your breath, how to, and they do that with yoga too. But I find that when I do focus on that, I'm like, oh, okay, I don't have to breathe as quickly. I can slow down. Even in exercise classes, there's times where it's like, okay, I'm hyperventilating. If I slow down, if I take a deep breath, I actually don't have to breathe that fast. And I think that does something for your mind and just your overall well-being.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think in addition to the breathing, one of the things that they focus on is how to eliminate the outside noise. Like things are going to come to try to encroach on your practice, whether it be praying, meditating. You'll hear the baby screaming, you'll hear the dishes clanging, but how do you keep yourself centered in the moment? And I know WW has the Headspace. I think they have that too on their app. And they'll do meditations and different things as well, so that you don't have to react to everything that tries to get you focused on, on it, that it's not what you're focused on. And that's hard for me because I want to react so quickly.
Because I can hear Isaiah right now. And if I were you, I would be like, okay, I need to get up and go see what's going on, kind of a thing. Right. But even you choosing just to stay present right now with us in this moment is proof of the struggle, but also proof of the intentionality and knowing, okay, I need to be here. Because you could easily say, okay, ladies, hey, I got to pop up real quick. Right. And if you do have to pop up, we understand, FYI.
Yeah.
And I feel like in our meeting, Marlon kind of touched on this, but as women, I think a lot of times we want to assume, we don't always put trust in other people. We want to do ourselves. So, a lot of it is, I trust, in your situation, Candice, I trust David to handle it. I trust, whether it's with work, I trust I gave this responsibility to my paraeducator. I trust her to do it instead of, oh man, I have to do this too. Let me add this to my plate. And you could easily get disgruntled and say, well, I think he referenced this too. Marlon did in the last meeting. Like I could easily say, well, I might as well do it in the time that I could explain it to you. I could have had it done. But that's not giving yourself, that's not giving credit to the person, whoever is helping you in that situation. And that's also unnecessarily putting that burden on yourself, and also making yourself kind of like, it's like a hero complex kind of thing. Like, oh, I have to do everything, all the burdens on my shoulders. Delegate and step away and trust in that person to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that is definitely, Rikki, a big point. And for women and for others who may be in any type of leadership role in their job or somewhere else, because I think we know our own work ethic and we're like, I know how I would do it. And it's a little bit of I thought the hero complex is a good way to say it, but it's I know how to do it best. You're not going to do it really to my standard. So let me go. And even though I need the break, even though I need to take the rest or I need to do other things, let me kill myself to make sure that it's done the way that I exactly need it. And being able to say that's not necessary, that's not needed. The person needs an opportunity to be able to show that they can excel. And it really is almost disrespectful to those that you're trying to not give them the opportunity to show your way is not always the only way that it can be done. As long as it gets to the end goal, that's okay.
My my people are, they've heard me say this because I have been the control freak and I still struggle with it. And it's a reminder as much for me really that to get to 5, you can do 3 plus 2, you can do 4 plus 1. And either way, you still get to 5. So sometimes you have to teach people. And how will someone learn if they aren't given the chance to do?
I've definitely been on the other side of that. I had a supervisor at my last job, which was part of the reason why I transitioned. I chose to go to a different school because I was micromanaged, and that was her way of doing things, you know. And again, it's like I maybe did things the 2 plus 3 way, and she wanted it done 1 plus 4, and it was just butting heads, and then making me feel like I was not capable, and it affected my confidence. So I think not only does it hurt the person who's micromanaging because they're having to put all these things, they're choosing to put all of these things on their back, but it hurts the person who is being micromanaged because they're not, like you said, Erin, they're not learning, and they may even start to feel like, oh, what's the point? I can start doing it, but you're just going to finish it. You're going to tell me I'm doing it wrong. I'm going to put 5 hours in on this, you know, whatever it is, and then you're going to redo it. So why start?
It impacts confidence. It's taking away the confidence. And you need, when you're in leadership, you need a team that feels confident. You need a team that feels supported to try new things. And I always think of Google and how they talk about how they get innovative ideas and different things. It's because they allow their people to fail, number one, meaning to think outside of the box and to do things their own way and to see what the result is, and then to report on the feedback. And I think that kind of delving into that is something that I'm trying to do when I do hear the baby crying, saying, did you give it to him the way that I told you? You know, he likes his breakfast this way. Let him figure it out. He may come up with a solution that works for us in the future, that out of the controversy or out of the crying that I know how to manage myself, he may come up with something else. So being open to a process that may not be something that I'm used to is also important.
Where do you see, now thinking about this as in terms of your WW life and your health journey?
Yeah.
Right? Where do you see this where you can actually apply this as well into your WW journey?
I see it with how I use, even kind of like how I use my points, right? Sometimes we're looking at meal plans and we're looking at ways we want an exact way of this is how I'm supposed to eat. I have to eat this many vegetables, this many fruits. I need to eat this much in the morning, this much protein in order to be successful, you know, and trying to find a way to say, Rikki may eat her points a certain way. Erin may eat her points a certain way. I eat mine, you know, the way that works for me. And I don't have to be so regimented in my thought process about trying to hit my goals a certain way. I think that it's more about how I spend my points is where it affects me. What about you?
I mean, I would say, like, along the lines of time management, how am I, you know, giving myself that time where I'm forcing myself to say, okay, I'm going to get X, Y, and Z done at this time, so I don't have to feel rushed in other areas or feel like I don't have that time for myself, especially during the school year when more is done. So if it is delegating things at work, or even just, you know, within myself, making sure I am not micromanaging or to the point where I'm, you know, doing too much, and then I don't have that other time where I can meal plan and make sure that I get my exercise in, and that I'm not rigid with certain things. So I think just focusing on making sure my time is divided where I have the time to do everything for work, and then I can shut things down and say, I did everything I could do today. What do I need to do for myself to make sure I'm ready for the next day?
That's important.
I was thinking for me in the, 4 plus 1 or 2 plus 3 equals 5, that a lot of times I'll start out on my journey with 2 plus 3. And I keep trying to do 2 plus 3, and my body has changed to 4 plus 1. And I need to go with 4+1 for a little while. Like I did the green plan for a while. It was 2+3 and decided, you know what? I think I gotta switch it to 4+1 and now do the blue plan for a little while. And one does not equal failure, right? One does not mean one is better than the other because we're still getting to 5. We're still getting to our end goals. And I think for me, it's having, Candice, what you mentioned, it's being flexible and not knowing and saying that this is not failure. This is flexibility and this is adapting. And adapting is not a negative thing. Adapting is a positive thing, right? Like, I think that's for me is I always come back to failure for some reason. I don't know what this is in me that feels like I fail all the time. But I haven't failed. I've just chosen a different path than what I was doing before because that path stopped serving me.
That is so hard, Erin, though. I'm really glad you said that because I think I am struggling currently with letting go of the old way that I did WW or ran my life or managed my health and having to say that no longer serves Candice at 37. That what it served Candice at 25, if it worked then, that doesn't necessarily mean that's what's right for me now, but wanting so badly for it to be. I want it to be because I know that way. Yeah. And even though the results aren't showing that I can do it that way, I'm like, I think I'm throwing a temper tantrum. I'm like, no, I've been doing this. I think we've all kind of maybe, I don't want to say it's pride in saying I've been on WW for however many years. It's a pride in saying this is not a new plan to me. I know what to do to lose weight. I know what to do to be healthy. But saying, but you are in a different space in your life. I'm a mom now. My body has changed. My exercise needs have changed. My metabolism has changed. What do I need to do that serves me well now? That's a really good thought. I didn't think of that.
How am I going to honor the body that I have right now? Because we know physiologically things change as we get older, right? Our bodies have different needs. And what served the body at 25, the body at 20, the body at 30, the body at 35. I think about Diane from our in-person meetings who talked about the difference in needs that she had as she went through menopause. And she is stronger and fitter today over 50 than she was when we first met her because she's focused on strength training. I mean, she's a beast. She's incredible.
She adapted. She changed. She was flexible. And I think that the whole theme of that is not refuting and rebutting change, but embracing it and saying, it is okay that I need new things now.
Yes.
And because of that, she's in the best shape of her life.
She is.
She looks amazing.
Shout out to Diane.
Shout out. High five. Bravo star.
But I still appreciate her pushing it and doing that because she's an example for us of how we can adapt, how we can do hard things to create that kind of change.
Absolutely.
And you get what you focus on. I mean, I think if you focus on the negatives of anything that you're doing, you can freak yourself out. You can feel downtrodden about it. But if you focus on, this is an opportunity for me to create a new way of being. This is an opportunity for me to see new results in a new way. It makes you a little more excited instead of focusing on, I can't believe there's familiarity that we want in life. We want to achieve. We want to know what's coming, but sometimes there's beauty in not knowing and embracing a new path.
Familiarity equals comfortable.
Comfortable, but everybody loves their comfortable jeans, their comfortable pajamas.
Well, even every year we've talked about with the plan, when the plan changes, how,
oh my gosh,
people, not when it seems it doesn't happen every single year, but there's, some
close enough.
Yeah. And we don't like that, but it helps.
Why is the plan changing? Why is the plan changing? The plan is changing because WW is adapting to what science keeps showing us, right? The more that WW is learning about the science, it's implementing that for us to help us live the best health, the best life. Remember, wellness was not a part of the WW changes years ago. It was all about the drive to lose weight. And as the science showed, what we all already knew was that losing weight is a mental game. It started implementing that. So yes, while it is absolutely annoying to have to go relearn a new system, that's another proof of the adaptation, right?
Let's talk about COVID. I mean, the way that every business had to pivot when the pandemic hit. We wouldn't have virtual meetings if COVID didn't. I mean, they may have gone down that path, but I think they had to get there quicker. And now you have access to meetings 24/7, if depending on your plan, where you're able to access a coach, and it's kind of like an AA feel where you're able to go at anytime you're feeling a need to talk to somebody or to hear from other people, you can do so. But that's something that was a change and an adaptation to meet a need based on a current situation, and we've benefited from it. So now we're used to it. Change becomes your norm. And so I think,
I was going to add that it's kind of amazing how we want change, like weight loss is change, but we don't want to change to get there. Like we expect for things to stay the same and, I can still eat my same things, or, I can still do my same level of activity. And we think that that's not going to be a difference. And we need to just know that like the change is going to come with that kind of change that we want. Like you guys were saying earlier, we need to, if we want to be focused on, something being different, we need to do something different in our lives. But I think we don't intuitively think that way. We just think like, oh, I'll think about it enough and it'll happen. It's like, no, I need to put some work in and go with the flow. If the plan changes, I'm going to trust that the science behind it is meaningful and will help me.
It's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Nothing will change if nothing changes. Yep. Okay. So in light of that, goals for this week, is there anything that needs to change? And that's not saying that anything does, because we've been making changes all along and we've been adapting, and now we're doing some of the hard work. So is this just more of a dig in week, or are there other changes that need to happen as a part of the evolution of the changes that have already happened?
I mean, I can't believe I'm going to say it, but maybe I need to adapt and change my thought about Peloton and steps. I'm not getting rid of the Apple Watch, but I will change my mindset around how I'm viewing success when it comes to exercise, because I have a lot of different ways to measure success. And so,
I'm squealing.
Apple Watch being one of them. Apple Watch being one of them. But
just remember, whatever is in front of you is going to get your attention. And that's the thing that's in front of you. So it's going to continue to grab your attention.
But isn't it pretty though?
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Just saying. Okay. So protective of it.
So for this week for me, I think I am a carbaholic, and it's just such a cycle of, if I start my day that way with carbs or with a higher number of carbs, it just, the cravings continue through the day. So I really want to focus on being intentional about looking at the number of carbs I'm having with each meal, and spreading them out throughout the day, instead of, it seems like I'll have like, something in the morning that might have more carbs, especially if I have coffee in the morning too. And I want to focus on a specific number for each meal, and be really intentional about tracking that specifically.
Ooh, okay.
I like that.
This week, I think for me is getting back to good practices. Not that I lost my good practices last week, but I need tracking, back to water. I mean, I'll be back to structure this week. And meal prep, Rikki, what you said about enjoying the meal prep, I love it. And I've realized how much I've missed it because COVID has, taken me out of that because I'm working from home. But I really enjoy it and I like doing it for others. And so I'm going to do that again. I'm back to doing that this week because that just helps me feel successful. And I'm taking a flight at the beginning of August. And so I have August and September. So I have some things to look forward to. And I feel like that helps provide a little extra motivation for me.
Yeah.
So
it's always fun to have a trip to look forward to.
yes, it helps me get some temporary goals, So
Absolutely.
all right. Is that it? Anybody else want to add anything else? We ready to roll then? Well, we wish you a wonderful day. We wish you a wonderful week on your journey. We'd love to hear about your goals that you're setting for yourself. And if you need some extra support like we do, you're welcome to join the Real WW Talk Facebook group. Just search Real WW Talk. And of course, if you want to take us on the go with you through the week, we've got the podcast, we have YouTube and our Instagram channel as well. You can find us at all of these places, just searching for Real WW Talk. Thanks for hanging with us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.